Hi, my name's Angus from AngusDriving.co.uk. I'm a driving instructor with my own business, and today we're going to look at a possible test route they might use in Peebles. We're going to drive the route, discuss things that might catch people out, things that the examiner's looking for, just to give you an idea and prepare you fully for your test when you go for it. So at the moment we're sitting in the test centre sort of area in Peebles, which is beside the police station. On the day you'll go down, you'll meet the examiner at the time that your test is, you'll give them both parts of your driving licence, you'll come out, you'll read a registration plate, they'll get you to read somewhere, maybe one of the cars in the car park here. You'll then lead your way to the car and they'll ask you two questions about the car, a show me and a tell me. Show me you're going to actually demonstrate, tell me you're going to explain. You'll find those questions on my website with all the information, possible questions that you may get asked. You'll then jump in the car and they'll go over the test with you. They'll explain that you're going to follow the road ahead at all times unless signposts instruct you otherwise. They'll tell you to turn left and right. You'll do one manoeuvre, you may do an emergency stop, and you'll do about 10 minutes of independent driving. So we're going to have a look at it, go through it, see if we can sort of make it all make sense to you and have you feeling really good for the day. So when we're ready, we're going to get on the move. So I've got my clutch down, first gear, find the bike. Quick check round, it's all looking okay, so I'm just going to re-signal on just in case there's anyone in any of these cars as I leave. So I get to the end of the road here, I'm going to be turning left, so now mirrors the signal, just following round with the curb. Coming in, just squeezing my clutch down here just because it's sort of a wee bit of a hill and then it suddenly goes downhill, so I'm actually braking lately. It's quite blind, so I'm taking my time looking up and down. It's looking good, so off I go. As I go along here, parked cars on both sides, so I'm keeping a left position as I approach because I don't know if it's clear to go yet. By keeping the left position, I can then see all the way along through the parked cars here, and it looks okay, so I'm going to continue on checking interior and wreck. A lot of people make mistakes there by sort of approaching that in the middle. If you approach that in the middle and there is somebody coming, well, it's not so good. You'll stop, but you can't get out of the way. Taking care not to go over 20 as I go along here. Looking along here, still parked cars on both sides, no one's coming towards me, so I'm alright just to keep on going. The road just goes round to the left here. No need to signal because that's where it goes. I'm just checking interior and left, so I'm coming after that car. It means I can then come round this corner, stay nice and neat with the curb. I'm keeping tucked in till I can see past these cars and it looks okay. So watch something big like that lorry ahead coming towards me there, I might stay back from the parked car just so I'm out the way and I don't get caught out. As I go down here, so keeping regular eye on my left door mirror to see what I've got with these parked cars. Don't want to get too close to them because in case somebody opens one of the car doors or anything. So when I have the opportunity like this, I'm going to ease off just slightly. I'm going to move over to the right slightly, just so at least a door's width away. If anything big does come, I've got to remember these cars are my problem, so I'd have to move back in slightly. Turning left down here, so I'm doing my mirror and the signal. And then just braking lightly. I'm looking at the curb just to follow it, just staying nice and neatly with the curb, just braking lightly just so the car doesn't run away. I'm just following down here. So you can see that 20 is written on the road several times as you drive through this section, just to remind you that it is a 20-mile-an-hour zone. So I'm using second gear for that. That way I don't think that I will go over 20 that easily. Sometimes if you put it into third, you'll find that you'll run away with the car just slightly. Coming round here, it's a wee bit tighter, so I'm focusing on that curb. You can see the sort of seam on the road, that's like your side of the road rather than the white lines here. But if you focus on the curb, then you should hold position. So we're coming to a road end here, where at the road end we're going to turn left. Once we've turned left, we're going to be turning right straight away once we're out. So I'm braking gently, it's very blind, so I'm going into first, I'm checking both ways. I'm okay. I'm steering round as if there is somebody coming. I'm doing mirror and signal to say I'm going right. I'm checking up the road, it's looking good, waiting until the centre of that road goes underneath the door mirror and turning myself in. Now it's you that's going to create the speed when you come out that first junction there, so just take your time because there's a lot in there with your mirrors, signal and getting the steering very accurate there. So if you take your time you should get that quite accurate. Round here I'm going to find a suitable place to pull up and stop on the left. So I'm doing my mirrors and signal, just pulling in slowly, nice and neat, looking at the curb there and checking the mirror, it's looking okay, I'm nice and parallel, I'm coming to a stop here. Doing handbrake on, into neutral, cancelling the signal. So the examiner's going to pull you up several times during the test. Sometimes they'll pull you up, just tell you to continue on, sometimes they're going to pull you up and then give you an instruction as to what they want you to do. So we're going to do the manoeuvre now. We're going to use the car in front to reverse park round. So this is what the examiner would do. They'd pull you up here, they'd say, the car in front, I'd like to pull up beside it, reverse park round behind it, and I want you to finish the manoeuvre within 2 car lengths and finish reasonably parallel to the curb. So from here we're going to do that. So I've got my clutch down, I'm in first gear, quick check round, it's all looking okay. I'm just going to be signals to show I'm leaving, just in case there is anyone in these parked cars around me. And then I'm going to do these signals to show I'm stopping beside it. I've checked the mirrors there, I'm just coming in slowly, stopping up beside the car, and then I'm going handbrake on, and I'm going into reverse. Okay, once I'm in reverse, I'm going to cancel my signal, it replaces it. Doing an all round check, all looking okay, so I'm going back slowly. Just steer myself in here. Very slowly. There's now somebody walking on the pavement, sort of it's come out of a house behind me. You won't see it on the camera, you might see it on the camera that's facing me. It's all looking okay, so I'm just going to go back. So I'm just going to go back slowly because she's now moved out of the way. She's gone into a garden. Good, okay. If she was staying behind you there, you just don't want to go too close to her. So I'm just going to slowly, just checking over both shoulders regularly. Car coming out here, I'm just going to stop while it comes round. Checking over both shoulders again before I start. Bringing it in. And that's me finished there, and I'm nice and parallel. Okay, so when I'm ready, I'm going to continue on. So the exam will say continue on. So checking over both shoulders, back over my right shoulder, and then I've got my signal on, and off I go. So round I go. So as I come round here, going into the left here, following round, staying nice and neat, and continuing through. Going along the road, keeping an eye on this dog. It is on a lead, so it shouldn't be able to pull out. Turning left at the ends, to my mirrors and signal. There's a crossroads, so I'm braking lightly, I'm checking both ways, but I'm also checking over the road there. If anybody was coming out of there, it should be my right of way, because I'm turning left. If they were to turn right over you though, and you thought they were going to go, then well, let them go, just because, yeah, you don't want to get yourself into an accident. Checking interior and right, just as I pull out from these cars. Taking a sort of central position through here, because only one car is going to fit through here, so if I take in a central position, I'll be able to stay sort of equally a nice distance off both cars. Checking interior on the left as I come in. At the top up here, I'm going to be turning right. So into my mirrors and signal, I'm staying nice and neat with this line as I approach. I'm going in first. I'm finding the bite on this hill, and I'm just using the bite to control my speed as I move forward. So I'm looking both ways. Looking okay, so I'm just edging out and then looking through here to see if it's okay, and it is okay. If it wasn't, I might pull it slightly and then stop sort of over, so that anything coming towards me can come through. Looking at the sign here, the sign shows that it's my right of way going through here. I'm still looking, because if there is anybody in the middle there, then you're still going to have to give way. You know, if there's a lorry in the middle there, there's no point in continuing through. Continuing through here. And then I'm going to find a suitable place to pull and stop. So done that, and then signal and I'm pulling up here. The examiner might then say to you, we're going to start the independent driving. So the independent driving, they're going to give you a series of directions to follow. So I'm going to start here, possibly, and they might say to you, I'd like to follow this road along till you get to the end of this road. At the end of this road, I'd like you to turn right. Once you've turned right, I'd like you to then follow that road, and I'd like you to follow it till you get to a roundabout where I'd like you to turn right, and I'd like to follow that road till you get to a roundabout where I'd like you to turn left. So that's right at the end of the road, right at the first roundabout, left at the second roundabout. So yeah, if you're happy with that, you continue on. So I've got the bike, quick check round over the right shoulder, it's all looking okay, so off I go. As I drive down here, I'm looking at the signs here, I can see that white circle with the black diagonal line through it, it's showing its national speed limit. So for a car, 60 miles an hour. The 60 is going to be too fast going up here, just due to the view. You can see it's closed off with the trees and stuff, so you don't want to drive up here too quickly. You always want to drive at a speed that you can stop in the distance you can see. So just basically imagine there could be a broken down vehicle round the corner and like you might have to stop. The road goes round to the right, it's about 90 degrees, so I'm going to use second gear for I'm just braking gently into second gear and around the car. I'm having a look through to see if anything's coming. No sign that I can see. Now we've just passed a big building site on the right there. I'm just coming around slowly. Now the relevance to that building site at the moment would mean that I would think that there could be big lorries bringing in materials for the building site. So I'm looking above the sort of walls and stuff to see, because a lorry hopefully you'd be able to see. You could also get, there's no pavements, you could get dog walkers on the, like walkers, dog walkers, anything on the road. It's got passing places, so every time I sort of come towards it, I'm trying to sort of favour a position to the left sort of, so I'm staying nice and neat, so if somebody does come here and I do meet somebody, they can then go through the passing place if it's on their side, or if it's on my side, I'm already slightly in and I can move slightly further over. Looking okay, so I've opened up my power a little bit. I can see the road disappears again as it comes up. I'm checking my interior mirror because there could be anything around it. I'm just beginning to ease off the power gently as I approach. It's looking okay, so I can continue through. It's getting that balance of getting the speeds correct on this road, that you're sort of not going crawling along at 20 miles an hour, but you're also not going too fast and tense. So just try and use your judgment there. If you can see, you can keep your power up, and if you can't, you're bringing the power down. So here, I'm checking the mirror, braking lightly. I'm going to keep a left position here, just in case somebody comes. It's all looking okay. There's a humpback bridge around the corner, which only one person is going to get over at a time. You've got this gate here you can see through. If you look through there, you'll be able to see down onto that road and see if there's any movement of cars. It didn't look like there was anything. Doesn't mean there isn't anything, but it didn't look like there was anything. Coming up here. And over we go. And then taking a chance to have a look over to the right there, through the sort of hedges and stuff, to where the road goes, to see if there's any sign. I don't see anything, so we can sort of keep driving along. If there was, I might have to stop at one of these passing places to allow the vehicle to come past me. Here you probably will pass a car, no problem. You just slow it down, maybe get down in a second, check your mirrors and get a position over to the right. So here's the first part of the independent driving. It's to turn right at the end of the road. So we're mirroring the signal as I approach. Easing off the power and braking gently. There's a car coming from our right. So now dropping it down into first gear. Having a look, there's a Mini, so I'm going to find just a bite on this hill. So it's just about to pass, nothing else is happening. So I'm adding all my gas and I'm just bringing clutch up smoothly and away. This road here is 60 miles an hour, so I'm going to start to accelerate smoothly. Trying to build my speed up to around 60 if I can, just to demonstrate that I'm going to be able to go the speed of like a national speed limit road. Obviously if there was somebody in front of you, you can go, so if you don't want to get too close to anyone like that. You're looking to have at least 2 seconds when you're following somebody. And if it was wet, you're looking to have at least 4 seconds, so you're doubling that. If it's 4 seconds, you might remember that from your theory test. So we drive along here, it's still 60. You'll soon see shortly you'll have a 30 mile an hour zone coming up. So before, it doesn't go 30 instantly, well it does, but there's like a countdown to warn you that it's coming. So you'll see on the left coming up, there's a 30 mile an hour sign with 3 stripes on it, showing that it's 300 yards till the 30 kicks in. So I'd start by checking my interior mirror at that point, just easing off the power. The speed of the car is going to start to fall. I'm then going to smoothly brake, just gently, spacing it out so I don't suddenly drop from 60 to 30. So that's it dropping down, I'm at 35. I'm now changing it into third gear for the 30, and I'm now at 30 miles an hour, bang on for going through. And I'm all set up. Through here is a tricky bit, I feel. Lots of parked cars. It varies from day to day, like as to how it's parked up. Sometimes it's tight, sometimes it's not. Depends what you're meeting. Sometimes you'll meet cars coming towards you, sometimes you won't. Cars probably aren't going to be much of a problem. Lorries, buses, big vans, they are. Now you can see there's some sort of workman vehicle on the side here. It's making it a wee bit sort of tighter, so I'm just coming off the power and braking lightly. I'm looking through. It looks okay to continue, so I'm just going to check these mirrors as I go out, and I'm going to go through. I'm checking interior and left as I go. Looking into the distance, I can see a lorry coming towards me. Now I will probably get through with this lorry, but I might have to drop down to second gear. See what the lorry's going to do. It looks like he's actually going to wait for me. There's no one behind me, so I think he's going to be nice and let me come through, so I can just stay in third because he's waited. Well, wee thanks. I'm just going to check interior and left just to pop in after that parked car. And then I'm checking interior and right as I take the line out here. Just staying off these cars. Just again, you can't control these cars. You know, they could open doors and stuff, so you're making sure you keep that doors width off them just in case they do open that door. So I'm continuing down here. Making sure that we're over 30. So the next independent drive direction was at the roundabout was to turn right. Now if you did forget the directions, you can ask and they'll repeat them. If you did go the wrong way, it doesn't actually matter at all. They would just redirect you and get you back on course. But yeah, if you've forgotten and you come along here thinking, where was I going again? Just say, I've forgotten, and the examiner will tell you. They'll repeat the direction. So along here we're going to be turning right at the roundabout to go down the high street. Now at this roundabout, as we approach, we're going right, we'll do a mirroring signal to say we're going right as we approach. Now because there's a corner before the roundabout, usually that signal will cancel just before we enter the roundabout. So we're going to the interior mirror, right door mirror, signal right. I'm going to stay with the line from my position as I approach. And then just sort of easing off the power, I'm just sort of braking lightly as I come in. I'm looking across the pit station forecourt. It doesn't look like there's anything coming, so I'm going to select second gear. The signal went off, so I've popped it back on. The roundabout's looking okay, so I can enter. I'm steering myself around, so I'm facing the high street, and the mirror signal to say I'm coming off. So I'm checking those mirrors, checking nothing's on my left, so I leave the roundabout and take my position. As I come down here and keep it nice and neat, sort of a left position, you can see all those parked cars on the right. You know traffic's going to sit out, so I'm keeping a left position as I come down. Don't worry about this taxi box, you're not stopping in it to park, so you can drive through it. I'm checking that the traffic's not going to queue back and leave me sort of over this junction here. It looks like it's moving enough that I can continue through, keeping the line off the bus here. There's a lorry coming, so I'm getting the balance that I'm sort of going to be off the bus enough, but not too far out for a lorry. So I'm coming down here and looking at the pedestrian crossing. It's green. There is somebody standing at the side of it though, and they have pushed the button, so it could change to red. I'm looking at it. I'm now at a position that even if it does change, I'm going to keep going because there's no point in me stopping and I'm through. So you'll be able to see if somebody's standing at the side of it as you approach. If they are, you're thinking that could change to red. You've then got to come up with a sort of an area that you're committed and an area where you're definitely stopping. So it's not that there's a set distance where you're committed and a set distance where you're stopping. I'd say if it's harder for you to stop than it is for you to keep going, I'd say you keep going. So you don't want to do like an emergency stop when it goes to red. Driving down here, keeping a nice gap with the car in front, because yeah, it's just a tricky bit. You got people stopping for spaces and stuff, and people stepping at it. You want to give yourself as much thinking time as possible. So here's the last part of the independent driving for now. We're going left first exit. So I'm a mirroring signal as I approach. It's queued back, very blind to the right, it's moving very slowly, so I've dropped it down into first gear. I'm aware of this delivery vehicle in case somebody steps off it. As I come down here, it's a silver car on my right. He's going off, so I'm all good, so off I go. Staying with the curb as I come round, and then I'm going up into second gear and I'm away. So I'm driving down here, the examiner would then say just continue following the road ahead for now. So that's the first part of the independent driving done. The examiner hadn't given you, gave you the directions all at once, and you've managed that. So you're following round, the examiner is just telling you to follow the road ahead, so just continue following around here. Just looking ahead for anything, I can see these parked cars, is there any big vehicles coming towards me, it's looking good. Continue along. Then the examiner might then tell you to find a suitable place to pull up and stop. So somewhere on the left here, you've got a mirror signal. Don't stop opposite the parked cars, and don't stop on the zigzag for the pedestrian crossing. So I'm just stopping here. So I've come to a stop here. The examiner will say that's great. I'm going to start the second part of independent driving. I like to follow this road along, take the second road on the right, and then at the end of that road to turn right. So when I'm ready, I'm going to continue on. You can see that the sign saying 20 miles an hour just in front of me here. It's not flashing at the moment, so it's not 20. If that was flashing, it would be 20. And that'll flash when the schools are going in, out, and when they're on lunch sometimes. You can see the 30 sign on the right there, and that would show that would be where the 30 zone would kick back in. So if it is flashing, it'd be 20 miles an hour from where the sign's flashing, and it would go back to 30 once you've passed that sign. So we're driving along, we're taking the second road on the right as we've been instructed to do so. Looking along here, we can see a turn off into the right here. So the second road on the right is just beyond this, and it's going to be just after this person walking. So I'm doing mirrors and signal. I'm staying neat with this line as I approach, and I'm looking ahead. It's looking okay. So I'm braking lightly, I'm going to go down to second gear, and I'm going to centre that as it goes under, and I'm spinning in. I can see the parked cars as I come in. I'm looking to see if it's okay. It looks okay to pass, so through I go. Checking interior and left, just sort of return back in here so this car that's approaching me has plenty of room to get through. Checking interior and right, smooth lines if you can. Again, taking note that it's a 20 mile an hour area, like once you're in here, you can see it on the road written again. The signs are very easy to miss, they're just as you turn in at the junction. You're busy dealing with the junction, so they're quite easy to miss, but you'll see it on the road. Up here, my view's a wee bit obscured to the right with the parked car, so I'm checking interior and left. I'm taking a left position over to here. This way I can then see all the way up, and there's a car coming, so I'm going to just stop here. And I'm going to put it into first gear. Because it's going to be a wee path that comes through, I'm going to put the handbrake on. And there's a van coming as well. The van's turning off, this guy's coming through, so after him is looking at the gates. I'm getting my bike, setting my gas, and then I'm just going to go just a quick glance from my right. Just because there's junctions and stuff by me, you could have a cyclist, someone that's popped out, just going to stop for a bit. I'm just checking the mirrors there as I pop back in. So here's the other part of the independent driving. It was second road to the right, and then at the top of the road, the end of the road, turning on right. So here it comes, and doing my mirror and signal, very blind and it's uphill. So I'm easing off my power, I'm going to clutch down, I'm going to first gear, car's naturally slowing down, and I'm going to catching just the bike here. I've got my bike and a wee bit of gas set, just as I edge it forwards to a position that I can see. Very blind, so I'm just taking my time. It looks okay, so I'm going to start to pull out. Now I've started to pull out, I see a car coming from my right, so I'm going out to here and I'm stopping behind this so the car can get through. After that, I'm going to continue on. Now that's going to vary from day to day. Sometimes cars are parked up in a way that's possible. Sometimes it's going to be that you've pulled out and you might have to continue along a small section. Obviously, you're not going to pull out if you see somebody, but if, like in that case, if they start to come once you're out, like because that guy was quite far down the road, then you're going to have to deal with it. You have to think on your feet. To drive down here, I'm going to take the road on the left. That would be the end of the independent driving. The examiner school there, just be aware that school children or anything could be walking out in front of you, so just be ready for it. Turning right into here, under a mirror and signal, I can see the seam of the road. There's a tar line. I'm staying neat with it but not going over it. The centre of the road I'm going into here goes underneath my door mirror. I'm going to spin it in. I can see parked cars on the right, meaning people coming towards me are going to be in the middle. There isn't anyone, but I'm ready. If there is somebody halfway through there, well, they're not going to be able to get out of my way, so I'm going to have to give way to them. Again, 20 mile an hour zone we're in, so I'm just keeping it in second gear, just making sure they're over 20. So we drive around here. The road keeps on disappearing just around these corners. Obviously, there could be people with like parked cars, checking my mirrors, just to approach them, keep myself regularly up to date with what's behind me. So it could be parked cars around the corner, you've got driveways on either side of the road, so if somebody reversing in, out, doing anything with these driveways. So he's coming around at a speed that you can easily react to anything. So just following along. So as I drive along here, the examiner might tell me find a safe place to pull up and stop. So check my mirrors, put a wee signal. I'm just going past this driveway and I'm stopping in between these two driveways, nice and neat to the curb. Once I've stopped, handbrake on into neutral, cancel my signal, so everything's back to the way it is. I've had quite a lot of people in tests sometimes stop like that, and when they go to leave, they've left their left signal on. So they'd be in this situation, they'd have themselves ready, they'd do their check, and they'd start to pull away, but they've not cancelled the signal from stopping, so they'd actually pull away signaling the wrong way, which isn't so good. So the examiner's checked that you've pulled up, that's great, you've not blocked the driveway, you've found a suitable place, you've shown you can stop reasonably close to the curb. So drive on when you're ready. So go my bite, set my gas, quick check round, and off I go. Cancel my signal once I'm on the move, just so that they stay on. So yeah, I popped my signal on there, lots of driveways, parked cars on the right, that car was coming up towards me there, just so everyone knows what I'm up to. The road just goes round to the right here, it's fairly tight. Keep a slightly left position as you approach this one, just so you're out of the way, and just following round. As I go down here, it's very blind, it's very tight, it's almost unrealistic how they've sort of painted the lines on this. You're going to be sort of towards that line in the centre of the road, just slightly. If somebody does come, you can slow down more and you can pull in slightly towards the wall. I'm not saying go down it on the wrong side of the road, I'm just saying you'll be slightly towards that line. So you're just going down at a pace that you can sort of react to anything again. At the bottom of the road here, we're going to be turning right. So I'm doing my mirrors and signals say I'm going right as I approach. I'm just braking gently, I'm going clutch down into first gear and I'm looking. So it's very blind here, so I can see along to the right, but along to the left it's very blind, so I'm steering my car around slightly just to open up my view. So I'm going to have to sort of sit up slightly. I can now see along and it's all okay and there's no one coming that way, so off I go. Again, that one will vary from day to day as to what's parked there, so you have to then check that you can see properly. As I drive along here, I'm expecting this car to give way to me in this space coming up, and it seems to have done, so it's all good. I come around here and check in my interior mirror, I don't know what's around the corner, and I'm just following round with this curb. At the end of the road, I'm going to be turning left, so I'm doing my mirrors and signal. It's quite an open junction, so if I look to my right, I can see a white van approaching, so I'm not going to be able to go out in front of them, so I'm selecting first gear, and I'm finding just the bite on the hill. After the van, it should be okay for me to continue, so off I go. If it was all okay as I approached there might not be any need to go down into first gear, just stay in second and continue driving along. At the roundabout here, I'm going to follow the road ahead. So it's down to it's the first exit, it's slightly down to the left, so I will signal on approach, but I'm going to have to be careful with the timing of my signal due to the entrance just before the roundabout here. So just as I'm passing this entrance, I'm going to do interior mirror left or mirror signal left. I'm going to keep a slightly left position. I'm coming in very slowly in second gear and I'm looking up to the right. It's looking okay, no one's coming down the high street, so I'm good to go. Keep an eye on this lady at the island there, she seems to be staying there. Just in case she steps out. If she does step out, you may have to stop. So we drive around here, it's usually parked cars, lots of shops if you're familiar with the area, so there could be a lot of movement, people sort of getting in and out of spaces, people throwing doors open and stuff. As I come up here, let's check that it's okay to continue through. It looks okay, so I'm going to continue through. I'm going to take the road on the right coming up, so as I approach, I'm doing interior mirror right to mirror, signal right. I'm going to try and return back to my side of the road, just to this side of the line, assess it, it all looks okay, so I'm just going in. Because this is a one-way street, you can kind of go in wherever you like, there's no line you have to wait to cut over, to go underneath the door so you don't cut the corner. So up here I'm going to be turning right, okay, so I'm turning interior mirror right, door mirror signaling right, quite a tight wee turn, usually there's parked cars as I go in, so I'm just waiting for that to go under, steering in, I'm going in behind the parked cars, I can see down the road it's clear so I can just continue on my way. If it wasn't clear then I wait in behind the parked cars there, so that anything coming towards me can continue through and I don't get in its way. At the end of the road here I'm turning right, so I'm doing interior mirror right door mirror, signalling right. I can see there's parked cars before the end of the road, but I have to still get back to my side of the road, so I'm steering in, checking those mirrors just come past that car. I've dropped down into first, I'm just checking both ways. It's very blind to the left, this junction, so it's taking your time, edging bit by bit. It all looks okay, so I'm off. So I continue along here. I'm going to take a central position as I go through here. Again, just using the road. Only one car is going to be able to fit through here at a time. At the moment, there's no one coming towards me, so I can use this position. It goes one way shortly down here, so then there will be no one coming towards me. I'm checking the mirrors as I pop back in. At the end of the road down here, I'm going to be turning left at the bottom of the road. So I'm doing interior mirror left door mirror, signalling left. And I'm just braking lightly as I approach. I'm staying off the curb because it jots out a little bit. And then it's first. I'm just assessing. It all looks okay. I'm just being careful not to catch that curb because it sticks out a bit. So just making sure I go forward until my knees are sort of in line with the curb and then steer. And that means that I'll normally not hit it. So left first exit, the mirrors and signal as I approach. Easing off the power, I'm looking for traffic coming towards me off the bridge there. And there's a car coming. So I'm going down into first gear and I'm finding just the bite on this hill while I wait. This Audi's coming round as well. I'm also taking care in case a car does a U-turn coming down from the high street. Quite common here. I'm looking to see where the taxi's going. Taxi's going off, so I'm happy to go. So the way you can tell that somebody's going to do a U-turn sometimes is by their speed and their position. So it's somebody's doing it in the background from me. It's a bit of a shame they didn't do it in front of me for the video, but basically as they approach, they'll be signalling right as they come down the high street, but then what they'll then do is they'll probably sit a wee bit wider. They won't be in that right position. I'm just going around this, taking it easy in case any people to do with the van walk around it to get in. Now if somebody does do a U-turn, obviously you want to give way to them, but then if you're then following them up the high street, you've got to start to think, why have they done a U-turn? Maybe it's that they've come down and they've been looking for a space and they've not found one. So then if you're following them up the road, they're probably then going to sort of like stop for a space, all of a sudden not paying attention to you. Going to the left in this road, so the mirror and signal. I'm watching the people. If anybody does step out in front of me, then I'm going to stop. If anyone's already on the road, you're going to give way to them. The drive down here is a one-way street. You can see the blue sign with the white arrow on the right there, and that shows that it's one way. So because of that, I'm going to keep a nice right position off these parked cars. The person on the skateboard, I'm checking where I'm easing off the power, and he's gone up onto the pavement. So okay. So I'm continuing down. Keep an eye on that guy on the ladder there, just in case he steps back. So at the end of the road here, I'm going to be turning right. So I'm doing interior mirror, right door mirror, and I'm signaling right. As I come along here, I'm keeping the right position. I'm going into first gear. Because it's one way, you stay to the right. After that, I'm back onto a two-way street, so I'm over to the left. At the end of the road, I'm going to turn right. So I'm going to interior mirror, right door mirror, signal right. So I'm coming down here, I'm just braking gently. I can see there's cars coming from right, so I'm dropping down into first. So there's going to be a gap on the right shortly, which I can go after this silver car. There's nothing on that side of the road, so off I go. Once I'm out, I'm into this 30 mile an hour zone. I'm accelerating smoothly. You can see a car waiting to turn right. I can actually see that he's going to go after the white BMW hopefully, so if I time it, I won't need to stop. He's now gone, so I'm checking the mirrors and I'm accelerating again. Obviously, if there was somebody suddenly overtaking you at that point or something, then don't accelerate, just stay at the speed you're at. So I just got up to 30 here. Now, roundabout, turning right again. So just like we did earlier, we're doing the mirrors and signal as we approach, ready that when we do enter the roundabout, the signal usually cancels, so we'll have to switch it off. So I'm braking lightly as I approach, staying with the line on the right. I'm looking across that petrol station forecourt. It's looking good, so I'm going to second. Signal's cancelled, but it's back on, so I'm on just before that red car. Steering myself all the way around, mirror, mirror, signal saying coming off, and then off I go. Following the road along. Now, yes, it is 30 miles an hour down this high street, but usually there's so much going on that 30 would sometimes feel quite quick. So you're just going again at a speed that you can assess every time. I would keep sort of a bigger gap than usual just to give yourself time to think. So I'm looking at this guy crossing, it looks okay, doesn't look like he's going to walk out in front of me. I'm going to be turning right down here, so I'm doing interior mirror, right door mirror, signaling right as I approach. Now as I go down the side of this statue thing in the middle, the curb goes diagonally down to the right, and I'm going to stay with it. I've dropped down into first because the traffic slowed down due to the traffic lights there. So I'm going to keep the car nice and neat with this curb as I go down here, so that if I then can't go when I'm waiting, cars can pass me on the left, so that's very important. It all looks okay, so I'm just going to follow in. I'm then going to be taking the first road on the left, so mirrors and signals say I'm going left. I'm coming up to this very slowly, because if there is anybody coming out of here, then I'm going to have to let them out. But it all looks okay. So it's a bit unusual, that one. Usually, you know, it'd be sort of your right of way just to turn in, but in that case, you know, you've got to check. Now, because I can't see around the corner, I'm checking interior and left and taking a slightly left position. There's a car here, and see what it's doing. I'm going to have to wait here at the moment, and it's going to come forwards. So I've made sure I don't go too close to that silver car ahead, just so that it's easy for me to get in. I'm just checking the mirrors again, just in case there's anybody coming down, cyclists or something. The cyclists will keep up with you in this area, no problem. So I go up here, you can see that I'm going to be doing a wee zigzag in, so I'm just checking interior and left, just sort of check again that it's all good. I've cleared the van and stuff, but nothing in behind that van, turning right at the end, mirrors and signal. So I come up here, I'm easing off the power, again I'm just finding that bite. So I braked lightly to get rid of some of the power, lowered my clutch down to the bite, got my gas going, and out I come, and there we go. So continuing down here. Lots of workman vans there, so I could have activity of people moving about, so just ready for people to step out. After this vehicle, I'm going to check interior and left just as I come in. At the end of the road down here, you're going to be turning left. So as I approach, my mirrors and signal are done. I can see at the end of the road there's a white hatched area, a white solid line with a hatched area inside it. I'm not going to go into that, I'm going to treat that like a curve and come round with it. So basically, if it's got a solid line around it, you don't go into it. It's like to sort of calm the traffic so that make sure that no one shoots down round through this corner. So I'm all good to go. So round I go. I'm going to follow this road up. Now following up here, I can't see over the brow of the hill, but I can see parked cars on the right. So I'm going to check my mirrors. I'm going to stay to the left here, because anybody that does come towards me, if there is anyone, they're going to be in the middle. You can guarantee it. So may as well come in a place that they've got like a chance that no one's going to meet me. Just taking care not to go over 20 up here. Now, at the beginning of the test, I was talking about it, the examiner will tell you to follow the road ahead at all times unless they tell you to turn left or right, or signs tell you otherwise. So up here, some examiners, I'm going to give way to this guy, up here, some examiners aren't going to say anything. Most examiners won't say anything. Now the reason for that is at the end of the road here, you can see that blue circle sign with a white arrow in it. It's showing you can only turn right. So my mirrors and signals say I'm going right. It's a stop junction, so I must come to a stop in this. I've got to give way to traffic from my left. So there's no point in me stopping here, because then I can't see. So I'm going to move forwards until I can see, and I'm going to come to a stop. So I'm not over that road, but I can see. I'm going to put my handbrake on, so I've stopped. There's a car coming past. After that car, it's all good. I'm going to have a check to my right, check no one's doing anything strange. There's another car coming, so let's wait for that. There's another car coming. So at the stop junction, I would put the handbrake on just so there's no debate whether you stopped or not. Technically, you just need to stop, but I would put the handbrake on. That means that there's no debate. So I'm then just following round. This car, I presume, is giving way, and he is. I can see, so I've just sort of queued up behind him. I'm then looking through to see if it looks okay. Rather than just following him, I can see through with him that it does look okay. If he was a big vehicle and I couldn't see, so if it was say it was a van or a bus or something, a lorry, and I couldn't see, you don't want to then just blindly follow through with them, because if they've got it wrong, you're also going to get it wrong. I'm just going to check interior and left as I sort of pop back in. There's cars parking here, there's a bit going on. He's indicating. I'm actually going to sit back for a second just to work out what's happening. They're sort of squeezing through. I think it's okay for me to squeeze through as well, so I'm just going to continue through. Taking care with this car parking there, he could shoot forward. Also, once they've parked, the next thing they're going to do, once they're finished, is they're going to open doors, so you're ready for that. So we're on the final stretch here. Just making sure we don't get too close to any of these cars, so you get a nice distance off them. I'm going to be turning right into the road on the right, so the mirrors and signal. It's quite tight going into here, so I'm slowing down, and because it's going into a sort of wee tight area, I'm going to go into first gear to give myself more control. That's you're turning back into the test centre car park here. So just following it round. The examiner will then get you to stop somewhere on the left, so we'll just pull in here, do the mirror and signal, let's come in. You can overlap that line slightly and then just steer yourself around so you're nice and neat. And then that would be it. Handbrake on, into neutral, and then the examiner will get you to turn the car off. So that's you, that's the test over. So yeah, that's a possible test route you could do. You can see there was a wee bit of sort of going up and down the high street. A lot going on there, lots of things. That's going to change every lap you do. You'll have buses, you'll have pedestrians maybe crossing in certain places, you'll have cars parked, cars parking, people opening doors, you'll have delivery vehicles. Basically, just go up there at a pace that you can easily make decisions. Think like sort of the worst case as you're going up. Think that the delivery vehicle could throw a door open, somebody could come round the front of it. Make sure you've got those lines off it. If you don't have those lines off it, go very slowly, and if you can't get any line off it, just sit back from it. Hopefully that's been helpful. If you do have any questions or anything, then please don't hesitate to get in touch, and we can maybe sort things out. You can ask any questions and stuff, and yeah, hopefully that'll prepare you the best for your test on the day. So I wish you luck. Good luck. Thank you.